Hello everyone. Happy Monday. I know I'm late on posting a video for Model Cars and Coffee, but better late than never. I do want to thank Paul from West Coast Model Car Builds for starting this trend. It's a great way for folks to give updates on current projects and to get folks excited about future projects. Speaking of, if you watch my last Model Cars and Coffee, then you know this is the chassis for Project Innovator. I'm fine-tuning the print for all the parts, including the chassis, as well as gathering materials and coming up with how I want the model to look for the final result. I have a new chassis I'm also currently working on. This is for the 1969 Ford F-100 from Mobius. The wheels have already been printed just now, waiting for both front and rear end pieces to finish. I have narrowed the color down to a small handful. I didn't want to just put in a Coyote motor, so I'm going with the 335 Miami. The key difference between the Ford 5.0 Coyote engine and the Miami V8 is that the Miami is a heavily modified, supercharged version of the Coyote, specifically developed by Ford Performance Racing in Australia for their FPV models, featuring unique camshaft profiles, pistons, conrods, and other internal components designed to deliver significantly more power than a standard Coyote engine. Now for the moment I have been waiting for. It has been a journey that took over half a year to complete, but it's done. I have mentioned Project Crimson Tide in my last video. This truck is the sport side of the C1500. Both will use the same chassis and possibly the engine. Both trucks will have their own charm. Crimson Tide will be painted in a custom mix similar to the Ford color Shadow Black. Instead of blue flakes in the paint, it will have red. The paint was custom mixed by my friend over at ProScale Paints Paul, the international modeler. Both trucks will have custom pieces. The first hood will be for this project, whereas the second hood is for Crimson Tide. I have custom tailgates and roll pans along with custom tail lights I'm going to include with this build. Both beds will need to be removed and elevated, while the front inner fenders will need to be trimmed to make room for the control arms. Now, time for some shout-outs. I'm not sure if I had mentioned this before. Here we have a shop card from Manny's Scale Models. Manny helped me get my own shop card. He is a very skilled modeler and hosts his own podcast based on scale model cars. Manny is a great guy. I speak to him and Ed from One Team Garage daily, and we all bounce ideas off one another, as well as encourage each other to push ourselves to hone our skills. Next shout out goes to Gloria from Stout Creations. She is new to YouTube, if I'm not mistaken, but don't let that fool you. She is building some beautiful models over in her corner. She has a GTO Judge that I just love. Gloria, I haven't forgotten about you. I'll be putting my shop card in the mail this week to get it to you. Before showing the decals that took so long to get here, I'd like to take a moment and say I am happy to win the drawing over at One Team Garage. Ed is a very generous guy, great builder, and a good friend. I'm honored to win the 1970 Super Bee. When I found out that I won, I was looking at ProScale Paints for colors, Cults 3D for parts, STS decals for graphics, and the list goes on. The decals on the top right corner are the ones I'll be using, as well as the gauges on Crimson Tide. Ray does great work and well worth the wait. Between different style of bow ties for the grill, he even includes decals for the script that goes towards the bottom of the door. Included with the set are decals even for the C2500 and 3500 trucks. The numbers 454 come in white or silver. I'm planning on using the white numbers for Crimson Tide. I do plan on building more trucks like these two, just not sure if I'll build them all on camera or not. As you can see, I have plenty of decals for several models. Well, that's it for now. Thanks to Ed and Manny for their help with the channel, and thank you to Gloria for sending me a shop card. If you would like to get a shop card, I'll leave my email in the description. please feel free to send me an email, and I'll get one over to you. Now, Project Fairlane done, I'm going to post an entry video for the Psychedelic 60s group build hosted by Dan at 60s Rule.